In Brazil, over 11 million people, that's nearly 6% of the population, live in favelas or slums. These neighborhoods, often unseen or ignored, are home to a struggle that is both real and urgent. Imagine living in a place where basic amenities like clean running water, reliable electricity, and safe housing are not guaranteed. This is the reality for many in Brazil's favelas. These densely populated neighborhoods, often built on hillsides or in other undesirable locations, are characterized by their lack of infrastructure and high crime rates. Violence is a part of daily life, as gangs vie for control and police interventions often escalate into deadly conflicts. Yet just steps away from these favelas, a different world exists. In the affluent areas of Brazil, the streets are lined with high-end shops, luxury apartments, and trendy restaurants. The contrast is stark and jarring. Here, people enjoy a standard of living that seems a world away from the harsh realities of the favelas. But the divide is not just physical. The people in the favelas face societal and systemic barriers that keep them trapped in a cycle of poverty. They are marginalized, their struggles often ignored or dismissed by those in power. One such person who dared to bring these struggles to light was Marielle Franco, a politician and human rights activist from Rio de Janeiro's favelas. She spoke out against police brutality and advocated for the rights of the marginalized. But her voice was silenced in March 2018, when she was assassinated in a drive-by shooting. A grim reminder of the dangers that come with speaking out in Brazil. Yet, despite the harsh realities, there's a spirit of resilience and hope within the favelas. The people here are not just victims of their circumstances, they are fighters, striving for a better life for themselves and their children. They are community builders, finding ways to support each other amidst the challenges. They are creatives, using art and music to express their experiences and dreams. But, is hope enough to bring about change? Can resilience alone bridge the gap between the favelas and the affluent areas of Brazil? The answer is complex and multifaceted, just like the issue itself. Voices rise from the favelas, sharing stories of struggle and strength. Among them was Marielle Franco, a brave woman who dared to speak out. In these sprawling communities, individuals like Franco are often the lifeblood, their stories weaving a rich tapestry of resilience amid adversity. Franco, a resident of Mare, one of Rio's most densely populated favelas, was a beacon of hope. She was a sociologist, a feminist, a black woman, and an activist who fought tirelessly for the rights of her people. Franco's voice resonated with the unheard, the marginalized, the people of the favelas who were often overlooked by the broader Brazilian society. She was not afraid to challenge the status quo, to question the disparities that kept her community in a cycle of poverty and violence. Her activism was a call to arms, an invitation to her fellow Brazilians to stand up against inequality. Yet, Franco's voice was tragically silenced in March 2018. She was assassinated, a brutal reminder of the price many pay for speaking out. But her legacy lives on. Her voice continues to echo through the narrow alleyways of the favelas, inspiring new generations of activists and residents alike. Voices like Franco's are not isolated. They are echoed in the stories of countless others within the favelas, individuals who dream of a better life, not just for themselves, but for their communities. They are mothers, fathers, children, each with their own tales of struggle and triumph, each with their own dreams and aspirations. These are the voices that humanize the favelas, that challenge the stereotypes and the misconceptions. They are voices of hope, of resilience, of defiance. They demand to be heard, to be acknowledged, to be respected, yet they are voices that are often drowned out by the cacophony of societal indifference and governmental neglect. They are voices that are often silenced, their stories untold, their struggles unseen. Their voices echo a common theme, the need for change and justice. But how can this change be achieved? The answer lies within their stories, within their struggles, within their dreams. The answer lies within us all. The fight for a better life in the favelas is not just about improving living conditions, it's about demanding accountability from those in power. As we delve deeper into the struggle for change in Brazil's favelas, it's important to understand the role of the government. Governments are responsible for the welfare of their citizens, and it's their duty to ensure they live in safe and healthy environments. Yet, the reality in the favelas paints a different picture. Decades of neglect, corruption, and inadequate policies have left millions living in precarious conditions just steps away from the affluence of the city streets. The Brazilian government's responsibility in addressing these issues cannot be overstated. It's not just about providing basic services like clean water, sanitation, and education. It's also about ensuring that the favela residents are not marginalized, but rather are integrated into the city's social and economic fabric. This requires comprehensive and long-term strategies that tackle the root causes of poverty and inequality. However, the government's actions, or rather inactions, have often been met with silence. But not all have remained quiet. There are voices brave and resolute that echo through the narrow alleyways of the favelas, demanding change, demanding justice. One of these voices was that of Marielle Franco, a fierce activist and a beacon of hope for many. Franco spoke out against the injustices faced by the marginalized communities in Brazil. Her tragic death served as a stark reminder of the price many activists pay for speaking out. Yet, her legacy lives on, inspiring countless others to continue the fight. There are also numerous organizations working tirelessly to hold the government accountable. They are leading grassroots movements, educating the residents about their rights, fostering community development, and advocating for policy reforms. Their efforts are crucial in driving change and amplifying the voices of the favela residents. However, the struggle for change is not an easy one. It's fraught with challenges and setbacks. It requires resilience, determination, and most importantly, unity. Change cannot be achieved in isolation. It requires everyone to come together, to stand in solidarity with those in the favelas. It's about recognizing that the fight for a better life in the favelas is not just their fight, it's our fight. Remember, change begins with awareness. It's about understanding the struggles of the favela residents, empathizing with their plight, and recognizing their rights to a dignified life. It's about challenging the status quo, demanding better from those in power, and never backing down until change is realized. So, let's not turn a blind eye to the hardships faced by the favela residents. Let's not remain silent in the face of injustice. Let's stand together, raise our voices, and demand change. Change is a collective effort. It demands action from everyone, not just those living in the favelas. So what can we do? How can we contribute to this fight for justice and equality? The answer lies in concrete, actionable steps that each one of us can take, regardless of where we are in the world. First, raising awareness about the situation in Brazil's favelas is crucial. The power of knowledge should never be underestimated. By informing ourselves and others about the struggles faced by the residents of these communities, we can begin to dismantle the barriers of ignorance and indifference. Share articles, documentaries, and first-hand accounts on social media. Engage in conversations and challenge misconceptions. Second, supporting local organizations working on the ground can have a significant impact. There are numerous nonprofits and grassroots organizations in Brazil dedicated to improving living conditions in the favelas, providing education and healthcare, and advocating for the rights of the marginalized. Donating to these organizations or even volunteering your time and skills can be a powerful way to contribute. Next, we can use our voices to advocate for policy changes. This could be as simple as signing and sharing petitions calling for greater government accountability and transparency. Or it could involve lobbying your local representatives to exert international pressure on the Brazilian government. In addition, for those in Brazil, especially those living in the favelas, self-empowerment is key. This could mean getting involved in local politics, organizing community initiatives, or seeking educational opportunities. Remember, change often begins at the grassroots level. Finally, let's not forget the importance of solidarity. Stand with those who, like Marielle Franco, are brave enough to speak out. Their voices are powerful, but they are even more so when echoed by others. Every action, no matter how small, can make a difference. Together, we can help bring about the change that is so desperately needed. Because in the end, the fight for justice and equality in Brazil's favelas is not just a local issue, it's a global one. And it's a fight that we all have a stake in. The struggle in the favelas is not just a Brazilian issue, it's a human rights issue. The stark contrast between the affluent city streets just steps away from the favelas is a vivid reminder of the inequality that persists in our world today. The challenge is enormous, but history has shown us that change is possible when we stand together, united in our resolve. So, let's get involved. Let's use our voices, our platforms, and our resources to amplify the stories of the favelas. Let's educate ourselves about the complexities of poverty, about the brave individuals like Marielle Franco who dedicated their lives to fighting for a more equitable Brazil. Let's hold our leaders accountable, demand transparency and justice. Remember, every small action counts, every voice matters. Together we can help build a more equitable world. In the words of Marielle Franco, "I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own." Let's remember this as we strive for a better, more equitable world.